All right, then let's talk all about branding. So, what exactly is branding? And welcome to the video on the introduction and importance of branding. Now, within branding, there's so many different things that you can go into, but in this video, we just want to go generally over a bit of an introduction about to what is branding, how can you capitalize off it, and how do you build your small reselling business all about branding and using branding to attract more customers, attract more repeat business. Now, what is branding? So branding is more than just a logo. A lot of people will think that branding is just, having a logo or having a banner, as we mentioned in previous videos. That is not true. Branding is a lot more than that, and there's a reason why there's a massive business around branding. Otherwise, logo designers would just be branding, but there's a lot more to it than that. So branding is essentially the soul of a business. It's story, perception, emotional connection with the buyers. How are you going to attract potential customers? There's just so much to it, which is why we want to give you a brief introduction and go into more specific topics in a lot more detail in future videos and future courses. Your branding is more about defining your values, your mission, your identity, and how you're going to stand out from competitors, and how you're going to create a lasting impression on these customers, and how you're going to build trust with them and allow them to give you their hard-earned money. Now, why does branding matter again? Differentiation. That's one of the major aspects. It makes you stand out in such a crowded marketplace, particularly if you're selling vintage clothing. There's many people who are just selling clothing just to flog off and get rid of stuff, aren't they? And how are you going to differentiate yourself as a brand, as a company, as someone that's not just there to get rid of stock? It builds trust and credibility. Consistency builds customer confidence. How are you going to give the customer the confidence to give you their money? You're going to do that through building trust and credibility through a whole and wholesome brand. Again, customer loyalty. Strong brands create emotional connections. I mean, when you think of fast food, you think of McDonald's, you think of KFC. You want people, when they think of your niche, they want to think of you. That's what the goal is with branding, is to associate that niche with you. And you can only do that with branding. Again, perceived value. Good branding increases product worth. If you are just selling something under your own name, for example, I mean, there's no harm in that. Absolutely, you can do that. But if you are selling things under an established brand, this increases product worth. And this will mean that you can in turn charge slightly higher prices just for a little bit of more effort of building a brand, which again will lead to more professionalism, make you feel better about your business as well. Now, again, perceived value will lead to more profits, higher margins in the long run as well. Now, what are some different types of branding? Now, I just want to go over generally, very briefly, what are the different types of branding. We will go over all of these different types of branding in future videos and future courses. Now, some types of branding are corporate branding, so overall company identity, for example, Apple, Nike. Product branding, which focuses on specific products. For example, are you a business that just sells one particular product? Or are you someone like us that sells many, many, many different other products and sub brands? For example, Coca-Cola, iPhone in itself is a brand. Despite iPhone being under Apple, which is corporate branding, iPhone itself is a brand. Now, what about personal branding? Now, some people, personal branding is one topic that we could really go into, and we will do in future videos and future courses, particularly when it's about building yourself as a brand. Now, individuals can be brands. For example, Elon Musk is a brand in himself. I mean, you've seen so many videos on social media. Elon Musk in himself is a brand. Influencers, for example. On another hand, OnlyFans models, they themselves are their brand. Now, obviously, within reselling, you're probably going to lean more towards about the corporate or product branding, right? Rather than personal branding. But again, it really depends on what your niche is and what you want to achieve in business in your reselling journey. Again, you've got service branding. So reputation, experience driven. For example, Uber, Airbnb, they are based off the service they provide. Normally middleman companies use this type of service branding. Again, if you're unsure about middleman branding, we will teach you more about this in future videos. Reputation and experience driven. What service do you provide? And you can build a brand around that. Again, you got small bits of this in a reselling business as well. Now, elements of strong branding. How are you going to build a strong brand, and what are some brief elements around it? You got logo and visual identity. Is it simple? Is it memorable? Is it professional? This is how you're going to build a strong brand, by implementing all these strategies. Your brand story and mission. What does your brand stand for? What are you trying to achieve? Make sure that that is very visible, so your buyers will resonate with that and lead to more repeat purchases and give you their money as what we want to do in business. In consistent messaging, tone, language, and style, how do you maintain this consistency across all your many different platforms, YouTube, social media, your different selling platforms? How are you going to maintain that consistency? And again, marry that up, knit those bits together across all of your different platforms and portray a specific image of what you would like to portray. Again, customer experience, every interaction reinforces brand experience. This does come with consistency, as previously mentioned. Now, the emotional connection, brands evoke feelings, as mentioned: trust, excitement, nostalgia, exclusivity. What type of emotions do you want to what do you want your buyers to feel when they look at your brand? Now, you can't do everything, and we recommend that, again, like the niche that we spoke about in previous videos, about building your niche and picking your niche. How are you going to knit that up with your brand to create whatever type of feeling that you would like to create? Now, again, that is completely up to you. What feeling do you want to create, and how are you going to create that around your brand? Now, again, customers buy into emotions and just not products. There are many marketing influencers out there. For example, Rory Sutherland is a big one. I recommend that you watch his videos. And he talks about how customers buy into emotions, not just products. So how are you going to create an emotion rather than just a product? For example, Nike's "Just Do It." It's not a slogan. It's a mindset, really, right? Now, again, this is very advanced stuff, but why can't you build this as a smaller reseller, growing into someone who's going to build an established business in the future? Now, some final thoughts about this. Branding, it's a backbone of long-term business success. And it's not just what you sell, but how do people feel about your brand? Think about how you're going to create this. And again, we do have some tips about this in this course, in these videos, but we will also talk about it in later courses and our Patreon group as well. And be attentional, be consistent, and build something memorable.